Good afternoon. Today, our guest is Professor Sofia Menezes. Good afternoon, Professor.
Good afternoon.
Welcome to the NOVA Refugee and Migration Clinic. Thank you very much for accepting our invitation to participate in our podcast mini-series, which throughout the month of March will highlight relevant work in the field of gender issues in order to mark International Women's Day. So, we would like to start by asking you to share with us your role in promoting gender awareness.
So thank you. First of all, I must thank you, Maria, and everybody involved in this project for such a wonderful initiative. And it's a pleasure to be here and to be talking about this topic that it's a topic that I like so much and it's so important to me. So my role in disseminating gender awareness, that's what you asked. So I try to do it on a daily basis, okay, in all the fields I move, and especially as a teacher and a lecturer, a trainer. So whenever I have the chance, I bring the topic onto the table. Also, I'm part of a group. There is the military Erasmus, and I'm one of the vice chairs, and we have a line of development called gender mainstreaming. So we meet every 3 months, and we have this role of starting initiatives to do with gender. So we have a module, we have the gender seminar every year. We also have the project. I have the project, but I think we'll talk about it later, maybe about this project. So on a daily basis, I try to promote the topic and to bring it up in class every time I can.
How would you bring this up in class? Could you talk a little bit more about this? Because we will explore the military part a little bit later on. So I would like to ask a little bit more about this teaching part in this first part.
The teaching part, sometimes if I'm teaching military English, for instance, and then I bring the topic of gender in missions and operations. If I'm teaching cross-cultural communication also, it's important to understand the role of gender in the different cultures. If I teach CSDP, which is Common Security and Defense Policy, there's the part of horizontal issues. And one of the horizontal issues is, together with human rights, gender. That's how, yes.
Perfect. And what or who is your main inspiration and motivation to advocate for gender equity? What is your drive for this promotion?
I think it may sound a bit down to earth or simply simplifying the thing, but I don't have a role model because every and each woman is a model for me every day. I'm inspired by the stories I listen to every day in their daily lives, the things that go well, women of success, women who don't reach success, women who strive for success. Okay, so every single woman is a source of inspiration.
Amazing. And with your work and many other people's work in this area, what we hope as a society is that there has been change over the years on this topic. So I would like to ask your opinion about this and what you think throughout the last decades has been a change in the social awareness regarding gender.
I cannot say that there hasn't been changes. Of course, there have been changes, which is good, but I would like to see more change happening. I would like to see more action. What I feel, and during my classes and during, connecting with other people at European level and everything, I feel that we are still very much left behind in terms of what we could do, what else we could do. So social awareness, yes, and there's discussions, but still gender is still a taboo. And it seems to me that it's returning to a point where we should not never have been. And we've been fighting, and it seems that we're going backwards a bit. So we must fight for that not to happen.
Could you develop a little bit more on this change backwards that you were just talking about? So there has been improvement, but now we're setting ourselves back again.
in the sense that, especially amidst young generations, we feel that there's many times, and it goes both ways, the female and male protagonists, so to speak. The need for controlling the other side. I'm talking about romantic relations, and the fact that we are still fighting gender-based violence every single day, and in many countries, in Portugal, it's an example. The numbers are still increasing. Women die every day. Every 10 minutes around the world, a woman dies at the hand of their beloved ones. Okay, so that indicates something. It should be the other direction. So we must create awareness in the sense of respect. First thing is respect, dignity, and these are values that seem to me that need to be retaught and on a daily basis.
Yes. So this is a room where we can still improve a lot in our societies, is this respect. And of course, we recognize that there's still a lot of changes to be made to this aspect. But is there any positive changes that you see with projects like yours and with people like you that work on this area?
Yes, 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 of course. And I believe in hope. And it gives me a lot of hope to see also, on the other hand, youngsters also fighting for the improvement of human beings' rights, not only men and women, not only women, but also men, and also kids. So I think the earlier you start educating people, training people in the sense of respect for human beings, the better. And it gives me a lot of hope when I see sometimes videos and sometimes talking to kids in their 10, 11-year-olds and then teenagers, and see that they are fighting and doing something to make things right. To make things right, meaning to fight for equal rights, to fight for equal opportunities, to fight for always dignity of the human being. Yeah.
Yes, and you were just talking about the priority of dignity, especially in romantic relationships. But is there another great priority regarding gender issues that you think needs to be addressed beyond romantic relationships and respect in those relationships?
Of course, in the world of work and companies, everything, we keep talking about the glass ceiling. That's still a glass ceiling um, to be how do you say, overcome everywhere, and the fact that women still earn so much less than men in many situations, that shouldn't happen, you know. So not only in romantic relationships, but in all kinds of relationships, so work relationships on a daily basis. Of course, we need to overcome many barriers, still many situations. Yes.
Yes, and on exactly this topic of work, we would like to ask you a little bit more about your work in the military. So, could you please describe to us a little bit about the training you provide on gender awareness and its main goals?
Yes. So I'm a civilian, but I teach at the military academy in Portugal. And as I told you before, I'm part of this group that deals with the gender mainstreaming. And we created 5 years ago this group that is worried about doing initiatives to promote gender awareness. So we have this training on gender perspectives in security and defense. In April, I'm going to Romania for this training. It's a
Wow.
1 week training. So it will be the 4th edition. Every year we have an edition, and throughout an entire week. So the students are provided with information on the 1325 resolution and the Women, Peace and Security agenda, and also with training, practical training, with scenarios. They have to deal with scenarios. They have to imagine what it's like to be on a mission or operation, and deal with different cultures. And that's very easy when you talk about it from a comfortable European point of view, when you're sitting in your office, which is very different than when you go to different culture,
Yes.
right? So we need to make people, and the students are my students, aware of this, that different cultures have different needs, different perspectives. So basically, that's what we do. Also, we promote Erasmus gender seminars every year, so that people, academic, can discuss what we can do, how we can improve, how we can step forward in terms of gender. I guess, and also now we're trying to have. I had a project in which the military academy was the coordinating institution with Bulgaria, Italy, and Romania. It involved 1,500 students, and it was about military gender studies. So promoting awareness. Now we have a continuation of this 30 months project, and it's called Military Gender Awareness. So we want to continue the project on the topics of sexual harassment and gender-based violence.
Yes, that all sounds amazing. They sound like amazing projects. And as you were talking about the practical aspect of it, I was wondering, would you say that there is an intersection between these trainings focused on gender and cultural awareness in a more practical sense? So there's an intersection between learning how to deal with gender, the gender question, and also a cultural aspect to that.
Sure. Yes. Not only in military life, but also in civilian life. So it's a mix. For instance, my students, I have gendarmerie, the GNR, Guarda Nacional Republicana, gendarmerie students, they will be dealing with the population. They have to know how to talk to people, how to address these topics of gender-based violence. The ones in the military, in the army, they're going on missions abroad. And if you go to countries where women have no right to speak, where women are only taught to be mothers, just to give birth. And then there's countries, there's cultures where women are not allowed to talk to men, because if they do, they can get killed. So our people, our officers, our military must know about this in order to do the best. So they have this pre-deployment training. So before going on missions and operations, they have a pre-deployment training where they are taught how to deal with these situations. Yeah. Yes. So it's really important, the culture.
Yeah. And in your perspective, what in general is the importance of conducting these trainings in a military context? Is it more a theoretical importance of them learning, or a more practical importance, or maybe a combination of both?
It's a combination, because they have to know about the rules, the regulations, all this that I mentioned, the 1325 agenda, etc., all the concepts, the theory, so that they have a basis to operate. And of course, they need to understand, they need to be given practical scenarios. Sometimes we do some role playing, so to be in the skin of the other person, okay? Yes. So that they understand, oh, that's how people feel. Okay, so this is what we should do, what we should say. So yes. Very important, yes.
And could you tell us about the impact of these trainings on organizational culture and in the context of international missions as well?
It has a huge impact, yes. And many times people are not really willing to take these kind of trainings on gender, because, sometimes when you talk too much about something, doesn't mean that you talk the right way, but you listen so many times talking about a topic, and then you get upset when, a training about this, and then it's amazing the difference at the end. Then people think, okay, so there's things that we should talk about. There's things I never thought about. There's things I should reflect upon. Yes. So it's extremely important.
And in this aspect, do you have a remarkable experience while conducting these training sessions, or maybe you heard of someone who went abroad and came and did one of these trainings and had an experience to talk about when they came back?
Well, the best experience is when I go abroad to teach, and we always have students from all over Europe. So to see cultural differences, and now I'm getting aware of these cultural differences and the position they tend to have towards the training, and to see the difference, as I was mentioning, the first day when people deny to have any kind of participation in the training, And then the second day or some hours later, they are opening and they are telling their own experiences. And they are admitting, oh, I didn't know about this. Okay, so this is what you mean by, I don't know, sexual harassment. Okay, I didn't know this could be taught this way. And the fact that people open and the fact that people receive the information and they are eager to learn more about it, it's amazing, especially when you have people that at the end of the training decide that they would like to do more, that they would like to become gender advisors in the future, that they would like to do some academic research in the future. So that's remarkable.
Yeah, but do you have a specific occurrence where someone has exactly done this and transformed in this sense and wanted to know more about the gender issue in the military after the trainings?
Yes, we had students. I already had students who went on the training, okay, as volunteers, sometimes not so voluntarily. And in the end, they ended up going on missions. I was doing a training myself some 5 years ago, a 2-week training, trained the trainers in gender. And there was an officer there who was then contacted to become a gender advisor in the Central African Republic.
That's
So
amazing.
he went there, he did it, and it was wonderful. Yes.
That sounds amazing. And to conclude the interview, would you have any final words to dedicate in the context of Women's Day?
Yes, in the context of Women's Day. Yes, sure. It might sound a bit romantic or something, but I would like to tell all the women who are watching or might be watching this video never to forget how magical they are, because every day and there's situations we go through our life during our daily lives that we feel down in the mouth, which is normal. We feel that life has its mysterious ways of conducting our days, but always remember that you're magical just by the simple fact of being born and being alive. So every single day you can spread your magic with words or with actions or just by smiling. That's it.
Amazing. And with this very inspirational and beautiful final word, we would like to thank you for your presence and participation in this NRMC project in celebration of Women's Day. And we hereby conclude this interview. Once again, thank you so much for your participation and availability. And we wish you a good rest of your day.
Thank you very much. And I wish you all success in your future life also and
Thank
future
you.
projects. Thank you.
Thank you so much.